What up, though? What up, though? What's going on, y'all? Happy Monday. Welcome to the Asian session. Live analysis. We're gonna get into these charts to kind of see what the market has been doing, how it kind of settled in, and all that good stuff. We'll give everybody about a few more minutes to kind of hop in. And you guys, we actually won't be on a live long tonight. We're gonna probably do about a good 30, maybe 45 minutes. And then from there, I'm gonna let you guys go. I mean, if we see some opportunities within the market, then of course we'll capitalize on them. But if not, you know, we just gonna hop off. But if you guys have any pairs that you want to see in the chat, by all means, go ahead and put them in the chat and we'll get them marked up, take a look at them and see what we can do. I'm gonna give everybody about a couple more minutes. Man, one of the things I want to tell you guys, so one of the pairs that I was waiting on was USD CAD, and man, that pair, it dropped. It didn't get up to the imbalance that I was looking for, so it never wicked my alert, so I actually missed that trade. And man, I was so frustrated. However, you know, look on the bright side, we could have won money, but however, we didn't lose no money. So I always look at it like that. Whenever I miss a trade, I look at it from a perspective of, you know, I never lost money on that particular trade. So that's always a plus. Shanti, I got you. GJ, I got you. We'll mark it up. Hey, you guys, let's go ahead and hop into a word of prayer before we get started. Lord, I want to thank you for this day. Thank you for life, health, and strength. I want to thank you for everybody who's on this call. Lord, I hope they had a blessed weekend, and I hope that this week will be a blessed week for them. I pray that everybody is safe and healthy, and I pray that whatever is said on this call tonight can help somebody financially in some sort of way. We all know that this resource is from you, and Lord, we thank you and praise you, and we love you. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen. Let's get in it. All right. Hey, so first off, you guys, we're gonna actually start with GJ. Shanti put that in there, and let's go ahead and look at her pair first. That way we can knock it out, and then we'll get into the other pairs. We ain't gonna waste no time. We're gonna get right to it. Okay. So this is a pair that I literally have not looked at in a while. So we're gonna look at the big picture to kind of see exactly what this pair is doing. And then we're gonna do top-down analysis on this pair, and we're gonna break it down. Okay? So as we can see with GJ, we're definitely bullish right now. We can see we got a high, higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high. Okay, and potentially coming down, it made a higher low. So we'll take a look at that just to kind of see exactly what it's doing. Let's go on a daily time frame, and we'll mark our market structure up on a daily. which is pretty much in confluence with the weekly as well. So let's just do it from a weekly perspective. We'll take these little yellow circles and we'll do just the last few. So we'll say this is our potential higher low. Can't necessarily say that just yet, so I'm gonna actually remove that one because we don't have another higher high yet. Let's see higher high, higher low, higher high here in this area. So I'm gonna take this one off and I'll just put it here for right now. Okay, so that's our market structure on the weekly time frame. We drop it down to the daily. Let's refine these a little bit. Okay, and then let's drop it down to the 4 hour just to kind of see exactly what market structure is doing and what we can possibly capitalize off of. Okay, so let's go ahead and throw out fibs on this. You know what, before we do that, let's go back to the daily to see if we have any supply zones or anything like that. So we're in an uptrend. We know that we see an imbalance in this area here. Let me make this bigger so you guys can see it. We see an imbalance here that we know needs to be taken out. However, one of the things that I can see is we still have an imbalance in this area here, but here's the last down candle before the up move. Hold on, let me see something right quick. If we throw our fibs on this, we can see price is definitely well within our 50%. So we can see that price actually came down for this level of demand here. Price wicked into this level of demand before it shot off. So let's go to the 15 minute. Okay, let's see, that's 4 hour market structure. Let's go to the 15 minute to kind of see exactly what price is doing on the 15. So as we can see on the 15 minute, we had a high, lower low, lower high, lower low. We had a break of structure right here. Uh-oh. Man, this thing is all the way crazy. Okay, we had a break of structure in this area here. Let me remove this. On the 15 minute. Okay, we had a break of structure on the 15 minute. And let's see if we got a 50% pullback on this. So we're gonna take it from this swing low here up to this swing right here. Put it down just a tad right there. So we didn't quite get into 50%. I mean, but it's close. But as you can see, it literally wicked off of this order block right here. Now, one of the things I noticed, because this order block are pretty much equal in size, could possibly have utilized the 50% strategy on this. So you'll take the smaller candle, and I'll make this bigger so you guys can see it. So you'll take the smaller candle here, which is this blue candle, and you measure from 50% from the top to the bottom of the body. You can see that price literally came down 50% and tapped that before it actually went to the upside. So that order block strategy is valid for this particular area here. However, we can just kind of mark this entire area up as a demand zone that price tapped into before shooting to the upside. Now, because we actually missed this pullback here from the 15 minute, we can probably look to see what other areas that we can possibly capitalize off of. So let's see. Let me look on the 4 hour right quick to see something. So on the 4 hour, we haven't necessarily broken structure on the 4 hour to continue to the upside. So what we're looking at is possibly on the 4 hour time frame, low, lower high, lower low. So before we even consider the up structure For it to continue to make a higher high, we actually have to break this high right here, right around 164. 164, that even area right here that you can actually look at. So this is a break of structure on the 4 hour before we look to continue for it to actually make that up move to give us that that higher high. So possibly what price can possibly do, it can still maybe go back down because we're still in down structure. Let me go to the hourly. So on an hourly perspective, this area here would have to be broken before we actually look for it to continue to the upside. So we're still ultimately in down structure to actually confirm that higher low. So we actually haven't confirmed that yet. We did get a break of structure on the 15-minute, but most of the times before we actually look at that price action there to actually ride it up, we want to look at that break of structure on a higher time frame first to kind of look at, you know, when we can possibly capitalize on taking the market up. But I mean, we could have definitely capitalized on some pips here, but we already missed that move. So let's kind of see exactly what we're looking for at this particular moment. So one of the things that we possibly could do, because we're still in down structure, what price can do is it possibly, hold on, let me put the bigger fibs back on here for a second. No, I'm not gonna put the bigger fibs on there. I'm actually gonna put a downtrend because on the 4 hour time frame, we're in down structure right now. So we'll trade with the 4 hour trend. So if I throw my fibs on from this perspective, we're probably looking to come up in this area here and maybe shoot to the downside. And so if we break this 4 hour break of structure here, if we break the 100 pretty much if we break the 100 on the fibs, then we'll be looking for a break of structure on the 4 hour. So what we can look at possibly is a couple areas of confluence. We have a supply zone in this area right here, right around the 78.6. We can see that it did tap into this level of supply before it actually went down. But another thing that we possibly can look at, let's go down to some smaller time frames. We have another supply zone right here, right before we get to the 1 hour break of structure. So basically what price can do, it can come and tap into this level of supply and we can continue to the downside to actually confirm that you know, that higher low before it actually continues up. Because one of the things that I noticed when we had this break of structure on the 15-minute, it didn't quite get all the way down to that 50% level. So if I come and throw the fibs on this again here, up to this swing high up here, I mean, it got close, but that still to me is not valid. Even though we do have a level of demand here, it still didn't pass my 50%. So a couple of confluences that I would like to look to see is possibly for price to come down, because we have an imbalance right here that could be respected right in this area here. So ultimately, I would like to see price do one or two things. Tap this level of supply. Let me go to the hourly. This is what I would like to see. I would like to see price tap this level of supply, tap this level of demand, and then we shoot to the top side for that higher to give us that higher high on a bigger time frame, which would ultimately take out this level here. That's what I would like to see. But I mean, I don't know if it will come all the way down here. It's a possibility, but what we can do, we can set an alert at 160. That way when price passes the 50% from the fibs from a downtrend, then we can kind of look and see if price will give us some sort of wyckoff, or it'll give us some sort of a price action to dip to the downside to possibly come back and retest this level of demand in here to actually shoot to the top side. So that's one of the things that we can possibly look at for GJ. However, if it gives us a break of structure on the 1 hour, then we can look for a retest 50% or greater, and then we can look for it to shoot to the top side from that area as well. Okay, I hope that makes sense, and I hope that helps. All right, so let's go ahead and move over to UJ. And Shanti, let me know if you have any questions on that GJ markup as well. All right. Okay. So looking at UJ, I marked this up some time ago. So let's see, 4 hour time frame. We got a break of structure on the 4 hour. We came back. We tapped into this level, this imbalance. Okay. Perfect. We tapped into this imbalance here. And I can see that price is playing around in this area. So let's see if it give us some sort of wyckoff or something like that to actually shoot to the downside. So basically, let's see. It actually did. We have 3 drives up, but this one is a little lower. So what we can do with this, because we see that we tapped into this 4 hour level of, this 4 hour imbalance here. So let's go back to the, okay, we can do it from let's look at the 30-minute. And then what I'll do, I'll break everything down for those who don't understand wyckoff. I'll kind of break it down and kind of let you guys know exactly what possibly could happen with this particular pair. What I'm looking for. We're looking to kind of set up our trading range, which this here will be our resistance lines. This here be our support lines here. Okay. Move this over in this area here. So let's turn these to dash lines. To me, they look a little better. Okay, so because this came down and I'm looking for price to possibly, it can possibly shoot up in this area a little bit more to give us a UTAD or something like that, or it possibly can come up to this level of supply and test this. So we don't know exactly what it is. This could be a distribution that tapped into this imbalance and dropped down, or it could be a reaccumulation which builds and then continue to shoot back up that can possibly tap into this level of supply. So let's go ahead and mark this up. So because price started down here and it came up, this here is considered as a buying climax. This is our BC. Which drops down to an AR, which is our automatic rally. Okay. From there, when you get price to break past the BC, that is considered as your UT, which is your upthrust. And if price breaks past your upthrust, that gives you what is called a UTAD. So that is, in essence, a spring, that the equivalent of a spring from an accumulation. So this is your UTAD. So, okay, so the UTAD actually did tap into this POI here, this imbalance. And so from there, this is a little lower, so this will give us a test. It's testing this area here. It drops off to an LPSY, I believe. this drops off to another LPSY. Now, I'm gonna be honest with you guys, this is actually a really good area for a trade. The reason why I say that is because if you notice here, let's look at this. We tapped into this area here, so let's look at it from a smaller perspective. Higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low. This is lower. We still need, okay, no, it's not ready yet. It's not ready. So this here is our break of structure. Break of structure on the 30 minute. Get out the way. This is our break of structure on the 30 minute. But one of the things you possibly can do, because I'm looking at this, let me drop to the 15 for a second. Low, higher. Yeah, this is our, okay, yeah, that's right. So this is our break of structure here. But one of the things you possibly can do, and it's up to you guys. But me, I'm a patient and cautious trader, and I don't get FOMO. So for example, for those who like to catch the breakout, you possibly can take a sell here. But like I said, I'm a patient trader, so I probably wouldn't do this. You know what? Anything I don't do, I'm not gonna even put it up there to even recommend it. Yeah, I'm not gonna even do that. So basically what I'm looking for this to happen, because we have all of the parameters that we need for this to kind of play out. Actually, this here is our AR. Yeah, this is our AR because price came to this area, and this is an MSAL, a minor sign of weakness. Okay. So basically what I want to see happen is I want to see a break of structure in this area here, because if we're looking at this from a big picture perspective, we already got the break of structure on the 4 hour. So in essence, we're looking for price to possibly start to give us a downtrend. So because on a smaller time frame, we're still in uptrend, we're just waiting for that break of structure on a smaller time frame. We're waiting for price to dip off and then come back and tap some level of, or some POI within this area, and then dip off to the downside. So let's see, price haven't really given us anything, but we can tell that this previous area here was tapped into, which closed out this imbalance here. And so basically, we don't have any POIs in this current price action yet. However, we do have an imbalance here, which price can possibly come down here, give us another higher high. We don't know, but we want to be patient and not necessarily jump the gun on anything, because on this smaller time frame, we're still in up structure until we actually break this low here. So that's pretty much what I have. Like I said, I want to be patient on this. I don't want to jump the gun. And I mean, because you can see that, you know, it almost looks as though we're in down structure, but we still haven't broke this area here yet for it to confirm our down structure. Yeah, so we higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low. And this is our last higher high, our last higher low. So yeah, that's what I'm looking for. So we can set an alert right here. UJ 30-minute BOS. And this is set at, let's see, alert at 128.696. Okay. And then also Shanti, I'm sorry, I'll go back and put some alerts on there, and I'll actually mark these alerts up. That way you have the alerts on GJ as well. I know I didn't mark those up. But yeah, that's what I have on UJ, you guys. So I hope that helps. Yeah, we're gonna go ahead and keep it moving. That way we can see what we can do. Let me look at this on an hourly for a second. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that makes sense. Because like I said, one of the things that could happen before this break of structure, you guys, you know, this could be a distribution to dip off and do what we kind of expect, but it can also be a reaccumulation. And if this is a reaccumulation, what it can do, it can come down here and it can do something like this. It can staircase up, because one of the things that I do see, we have a order block here that price can possibly respect 50% of this order block with that order block strategy that we talk about. 50%. Price can possibly come up here, tap this 50%, and then possibly dip to the downside. Never know. But until price breaks structure, we don't want to jump the gun or anything like that. We want to be patient, not get FOMO, and that's how we keep the money in our pockets, and that's how we grow our accounts. Okay. All right, you guys, let's look at a couple of pairs that I had marked up. Let's look at GU. So on GU, one of the things I noticed, there was an imbalance here that price tapped into. It broke this imbalance, but there's another imbalance here on a smaller time frame for GU. Where is it? Okay, it's on the 30-minute. Because initially, I believe this was a 4-hour, or was it a 1 hour? Yeah, this was a 1 hour imbalance. It kind of broke that area, so it's kind of resting around here. And this could possibly be an area where prices may start to turn around, because as you can see, I have my yellow circles on here. This is our 4 hour high here, and this is our 4 hour low. So if we throw our fibs on here, you can see price is actually right here by the 78.6, and we're in down structure on GU. So what price can possibly do is maybe come up a little bit further, tap into this level of, or tap into this imbalance, and then dip to the downside. And if that's the case, if you do catch a trade and take it to the downside, what you can do, let's just say if it dips off into this area here, you know, if you use proper risk management, you can put your stop loss above the protected high, which is here, and you can ride this down to this liquidity area right here for 200 pips. This is almost a 1 to 3 risk reward here. But if you catch a really good sniper entry, maybe somewhere up in here, stop loss can be really tight, and this can turn into a 1 to 8, either one. And so for those who are doing funded challenges and things like that, you're trying to get funded, just make sure you manage your risk. Like this is a 20 pip stop loss, and even with this being a 20 pip stop loss, you can still only risk 1%, and then you can possibly gain 8% or 8.5%. If you were doing this here, 68 pips or whatever, let's just say you took this, that's still a 1 to 4. Make sure you do 1%. And so what you can do, you can go to a site, you can go to babypips.com, tools position size calculator, and you can utilize that within this area here. So let's just say if you were trading a $50,000 account, and you said, okay, my stop loss is 49 pips. You can come here and say, I only want to risk 1%. My stop loss is 49 pips, and I'm trading GU. Calculate. It'll let you know you're only risking 1%, $500, but it's going to tell you your lot size. So you're going to set a 1.02, which is a standard lot. So you can utilize this particular resource here to actually, you know, measure your pip count and get your correct percentages. You know, if you wanted to do 2%, you can change that to 2% if you want. Hit calculate, it'll let you know $1,000, which is 2%. You're gonna take 2 standard lots, probably a 2.04, however you want to do it. But that's a tool that you can use. I'll go ahead and put that in the chat just in case some people don't have that. But what you can do though, like I said, you can utilize that tool to pretty much measure, you know, your 1% and kind of stay in confluence with your risk management. Because I know when you first look at this, you're like, man, that's 49 pips. But if you're utilizing correct risk management, this can be a really, really good trade because you have your stop loss above the protected high. Because we know if it breaks this on a 4 hour, then the entire thing is invalid and it's going to change. The market structure is going to change. But if you have something like this, you can literally ride it down to this liquidity area, because since we're in a down structure, price has to, you know, since we're in down structure, price is going to take out that liquidity, possibly come down to this -27. I mean, you could, you know, ride that and have that for your target. You know, it just depends on you, but this liquidity area, you know, that's a good target to have as well. You know, however your trading management is, that's what you can do. One of the things I'll probably wait for on this though is I can see there is some form of Wyckoff forming up in this area, but let's see, higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high. So right now, this here, let me go to the 15 minute. Higher high, higher low, higher. Yep. So this will be my 15-minute break of structure here. GU 15-minute BOS. And so one of the things I would wait for is a break of structure on the 15-minute, give me a retest, then I'll drop to the 1 minute and I'll catch a sniper entry to go to the downside. Because like I said, this is already up in the golden zone on the 4 hour time frame. And so price will more than likely give us that drop, or if not, then it'll give us that push and kind of break structure and go to the upside. But I'm still looking for price to continue to go bearish. And we'll see what happens. Like I said, we'll see what happens. Another thing that you guys can do, you can possibly put a sales stop, because I've done this quite a bit as well. You know, so you don't miss the trade. You can put a sales stop here under the 50%. Sales stop right here. Put your stop loss above the 61.8, because more times than not, when it breaks that 50, it don't necessarily go back to break that 61.8 again. So you can put a sell stop here, ride that down to this liquidity here. That's still another 100 or so pips. So that's another strategy you can do on this GU trade. Stop in support. What's going on, Leron? What's going on, man? Shanti, you say what would be some confluences for entry? So for entry, Shanti, what the confluences that I'll look for entry will be a break of structure on the 15-minute. And once we get that break of structure, this is what we want to look for. So let's just say we get a break of structure on the 15-minute. And what we want to look for is price to give us a pullback, because there'll be some level of supply within this area that we want to see price possibly push back into. Once it pushed back into this area on a 15-minute, then we want to drop to the 1 minute time frame. And once we drop to the 1 minute time frame, because once we're on the 1 minute time frame, and I'll change the color of this, the 1 minute, you're gonna probably see something like this. Okay, let me change this color to a blue, because the blue symbolizes our 1 minute. But on the 1 minute, what we want to see, once we get something to tap back into whatever level of supply or whatever, or POI that we're looking at, we want to see on the 1 minute a break of structure on the 1 minute that breaks this last higher low on the 1 minute. We want to see a retest on the 1 minute that's going to tap into another level of supply or something like that, and then we can take that sell to the downside. So it's going to be something that's going to happen on a 15 minute, and then you're going to drop to the 1 minute to kind of get your entries, because once you catch your entry on the 1 minute, that's what you possibly can get those really tight stop losses, where your stop losses can be anywhere between 2 to 10 pips and things like that, and that's where you get those higher risk to rewards. So that's how I usually actually take my entries. I'll wait to a break of structure on a 15 minute, wait for that pullback. Once you kind of pull back into whatever POI or supply zone that you're looking at, then from there, wait for that break of structure on the 1 minute, give you that pullback, hop in, and you can go ahead and ride it down to those bigger liquidity zones. Like for example, let's just say on the 1 minute, hold on, let me take that back. Let's just say on the 1 minute, it gave you this pullback and you took a sell entry here. Your stop loss will be above this area here on the 1 minute, because you're trading the 1 minute. So this is your protected high here. Stop loss will be above this area here. And what you could do, first TP can be the 15 minute swing low here, which is this liquidity here, which is still a 1 to 3 risk reward. Or what you can do, you can ride it down to that 4 hour liquidity area all the way down here. Where is it? You can ride to this area here, or your ultimate target would actually be down here, your 4 hour low. And if you were to take something like that, you will notice that this is in a whole nother league of its own, because your stop loss is only 7 pips, and this is a 1 to 23 risk reward. So those are the confluences that you can look for when you're trying to take your entries. So that's why I say I'm always patient when I take these particular entries. So wait for that break of structure on the 15 minute and wait for that pullback, because when you get that break of structure, that pullback is your confirmation. That's your confluence to let you know, okay, price do want to go down, but it has to retest that area to go ahead and go back down. Okay, I hope that helps. All right, let's go ahead and shoot on over to EU, you guys. Let's see what EU is talking about. All right, so overall, I'm looking for EU possibly to come down to this 1.03 thousand area. That's my overall target that I want to see. And so we can see that we're in down structure on EU. High, lower low, lower high, lower low. We had a redistribution in this area that dipped off, gave us this lower low. And so if we throw our fibs on here, I want to see price pull back within this this golden zone here. And as you can see, let me remove some of this stuff. I'm actually going to remove this distribution here. No, I'm gonna leave it there. I'm gonna leave it there. So I want to see price come up to this area here, to this imbalance. And actually, yeah, I want to see it come up to this imbalance. And then possibly we can see some sort of Wyckoff that'll give us another distribution, a smaller one in this area, and kind of dip back down. But we also have a supply zone here as well that we can see right above this imbalance that price can possibly tap into. So I want to see price come up here, and then from here we can drop to the 15 minute and kind of wait for a break of structure on the 15 minute, give us that that kickback, drop to the 1 minute, and we can ride it down to the downside as well. Okay, So that's some of the things that we can possibly see on EU. We pretty much marked most of this up yesterday, so there's not really too much on here that I have to mark up because it really didn't move too much from last night. But yeah, that's pretty much what I'm looking at on EU. I want to see it kind of bounce off of here, and my ultimate target, I'm looking for 1.03 thousand. That's what I'm looking for. Okay, let's go over to UCAD. Now this one kind of this one had me frustrated, you guys, because this was the one that I was actually really looking forward to, because on a weekly time frame we made a weekly higher high. I caught some pips on this last week, but we could have caught so many pips on this today. So it dipped off into this area. You can see we had a break of structure, and so for me, I was looking for price to pull back into this imbalance, but it never got to that area. And so I'm gonna show you the mistake I probably did with this. So on a 4-hour time frame, I took my fibs from this top area down to this swing here, and as you can see, it didn't quite get to the 50%. However, if you drop it to a lower time frame, like the 3-hour or something like that, there's a swing right here. So it was a swing here, and then it swung back into this area. And so with that swing, you can see it's well within this golden zone. So I mean, I'll accept that, because like I said, when I miss trades like this, I look at it as I didn't lose any money. Of course, I'm frustrated that I could have caught a lot of pips, but I still didn't lose any money. So, but it's extremely frustrating when, you know, you see it does exactly what you wanted to do, but it just didn't, you know, it didn't wick into this alert and give us any confirmation. So, but as you can see, this thing completed the fibs. I mean, it dipped off into -27 area, and so now what we can possibly wait for is, you know, if we get a pullback in this area, we can throw another fibs on here, possibly see if we can get a dip off into this area, because what do we see? We see a couple of confluences down in this area. Let me remove the fibs. So we have an imbalance here, and we also have a level of supply right here as well. So price can possibly dip off into this area and come back to the downside. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna actually put an alert right up in this area right here, because if it passed this area here, then I'll look for it to come back into this zone or this imbalance, or however we want to look at it. But if it breaks this area, then I'll ultimately look for it to come back into the original area that we was looking for. And if we can get something like that, that'll be great. However, because we're in up structure, I don't want to see it break this, because right now this is our last, let me see, lower low, lower high. This is our last lower high. So if it breaks this, then we might be looking for a turnaround for it to give us another higher high, because we're still in up structure on the weekly time frame. But I want to see it kind of come up here and give us another lower low, because if we look on a daily, well, we're looking from a weekly perspective, we still have a long way to go to get down to this demand zone. So hopefully we can get a pullback to give us, like I said, into the smaller supply zone, and then we can catch it right up here, and we can literally ride it down to this demand zone down here, which is about almost 300 pips. So hopefully we can get that pullback and it give us that alert. That's what I'll be looking for on that one. All right, you guys, let's go to G-Chef. So with G-Chef, we are on a daily perspective, we're tapping into an imbalance right here on the daily. Let's look at the 4-hour though. Okay, yeah, see the 4-hour, we have an imbalance and a supply zone all the way up here. But on the daily time frame, we do have something right here. I'll wait to see though what this is gonna do, because I don't know. We still have a lot of room in between these areas. But I kind of want to see if price is gonna dip into this and maybe come back down, because we're still in down structure as well on G-Chef. However, a lot of times what I've noticed, when gold is bearish, G-Chef is bullish, and gold has been bearish lately. So basically what can happen is with G-Chef, it can probably break structure and continue to the upside. So we'll just be patient and see. I don't really know exactly what will happen, but on this particular pair, if it breaks in between this 61.8 and this 50, then one of the things we possibly can do is, probably set a sell stop somewhere in this area here, and stop loss right above the 61.8. So I'll put an alert right in this area here. That way, if price gets to this area, I can kind of look at market structure to kind of see exactly what it's gonna do. GBP Chef potential break on 50%. Okay, let's look at the 15-minute though. I'm curious to see what's going on. Yeah, because if it break this area, my alert, let me see, higher high, higher low. Yeah, this is actually a 15-minute break of structure. This is the last higher low. So yeah, in this area, yeah, I probably wouldn't take a sell stop on this, because if it break this area here, then it possibly will come back to give us a retest. However, it might give us another higher low in this area up here. So we'll see what price does. Okay, let's move over to gold. See what gold is doing. So as we can see on gold gave us a break of structure on a 1 hour. I was looking at this a little bit earlier, but as you guys can see, we have really good market structure on gold, and we can actually we can trap this into a channel. Yeah, we can actually trap price into a channel just like so. And as you guys can see, it broke structure, so price can possibly come back down to this area here before it kind of goes back up. Because if we go on a bigger time frame, let's look at the daily first, just to see what price is doing on the daily. So check this out. I don't know if you guys remember on the call from yesterday, I said that gold was possibly going to come down to this 1780. That will complete the fib cycle. So if we took a fib from this swing high and this swing low down here, look at price. Literally wick the negative 61.8, which is right around this 1780 area. So this fib cycle is completed, which means that price is going to come back up to give us a retest. So hence why we have the break of structure on the 1 hour. So basically what I'm kind of looking for price to do, I don't know if it'll come up a little bit more before it give us a retest, but on the 1 hour time frame, we have a level of demand here. On gold, so price can possibly tap into this area. If we utilize our fibs, we can see that's within our 50%. However, I can see we got some little form of consolidation here. So I'm curious to see what kind of Wyckoff we got going on right there. Let's look and see if we got 3 drives up. So we don't have 3 drives up yet. We only have 2. And what I mean by that is, if I go back to UJ, for example, USD JPY. If you notice, no, it wasn't UJ. Was it UJ? No, it wasn't UJ. It was it G? Was it GJ? It wasn't that one either. Okay, let me just go to GU and I'll show you. Okay, this one. When you have 3 drives up, for example, you have 1, 2, and 3. When you have 3 drives up, that can be a potential distribution. This one was a redistribution because price came down, almost formed an accumulation, but it continued to the downside. So if we're looking at gold on a smaller scale, if we drop to, we don't necessarily have our 3 drives up just yet, but I do see Wyckoff present though, because what we can do, we can mark it up from this perspective. Oh man. Make this bigger so y'all can see it. And from here, since it started from the bottom and it's building up, this is a possible distribution. So we have a BC here, which is our buying climax. We have a AR, which is an automatic rally. This move here took out the BC, which is a I can't even think right now. Up thrust. Gave us our up thrust. And from here, price broke down. So we want to see exactly what price is going to do. If it breaks this AR, it can possibly be a minor sign of weakness. Or what I want to see if price to actually break this area here to give us a U-tag to possibly come back to the downside for this retest down in this area here. So we just want to be patient and wait. But if we're looking on the 15-minute time frame, higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low. So literally this area right by our support lines will be our break of structure on the 15-minute to shoot to the downside for that retest, because like I said, I'm expecting a retest on gold because it broke structure on the 1 hour. Gold 15-minute BOS. So yeah, we got this possible distribution here. So basically what I want to see is for price to, and then we're at the top of this channel as well. So that's another confluence right there. So I want to see if gold will give us a break of structure on the 15, retest, and then come down in this level of demand here. Because if we can catch that in this area, that's 200 pips. That small move is 200 pips into this demand area. That's insane. That's insane. I really like this move right here. I mean, that can be huge. Because another thing you guys possibly can do, you know, it just depends on you. Maybe take a trade like this, write it down there. I'm patient, so I wouldn't do that. But break of structure, retest, ride it to the downside. That's what I'll be looking for on gold. Yeah, Shanti, 200 something pips just from that small move. But as you can see, it's a really, really good possibility because gold has been respecting this channel. It's been respecting this channel. So, I mean, if we want to make it a little bit tighter like this here, we can do that as well. But I mean, it's been respecting this channel. So, you know, that's what we possibly looking at. I want to see it ride down to this demand zone and possibly ride it up for a lot of pips. But I'm looking to catch this move down to this demand zone. So that's probably one of the things I'll be looking for. But what something that I possibly want to see before that happens, because we're still in up structure on the 15, is I want to see if it will actually break this area here. Because if it breaks the UT, then what that will do, it'll give us a possible UTAD, and that UTAD will give us that staircase down. And so let's just say if it breaks this area and we see price starting to come down like that or whatever, it depends on you as a trader. You can literally, you know, take a small entry here, stop loss will be real tight, and then you can say, okay, I can risk that, because I mean, if you take an entry right up in this area here, stop loss all the way down here, you know, 13 pips on gold, 13 pips stop loss, ride it all the way down to this area here, just to the top of this demand, 233 pips. Insane. That's a 1 to 17 risk reward. For those who are trying to get funded, that's well over that mark right there. Well over that mark. So you can set an alert. I can put an alert right here. Let me see, gold breaks the UT, which is the up thrust. And this alert, and Shanti, I haven't forgotten about you. I'm gonna go back to GJ and put those alerts on right after this. Alert at 18, 29, 28. And we have an alert, this break of structure, alert at 18, 23, 38. Okay, so those are the areas I'm looking at for gold. So let's go ahead and go back to GJ. That way we can put some alerts on GJ. Let's see. Go to the 4 hour. We can put an alert at 160. Yeah, we did say that before. We can set an alert right here at 160. GJ approaching golden zone. Okay, and so that alert right there at 160, and then we can look at another one if price decides to give us a pullback in this area here. Let's just say it decides to pull back. We can put an alert at 158. That way it's right before that golden zone as well. GJ approaching, well, GJ retesting golden zone or something. Okay, and then we can set that alert right here. Alert at 158. Okay. Another thing I'll do, you guys, with these markups, I'll go ahead and put these in our Discord chat for all of these different pairs that we have on here. So for example, I'm gonna take this right now. This is GJ. I'm gonna put this in the Discord. That way, if you guys want to look at it to see these alerts and all of that kind of thing, you can see it. Let me see. Markup on GJ. So I'm putting it in our Discord right now. Let me do, let me see, USD JPY. Make sure we can see this. So USD JPY. Yeah, so if we possibly can get that break of structure into the upside, so I'll go ahead and put this UJ up in there. Markups on USD JPY. Okay. Okay, cool. I hope that helps you guys. All right, cool, you guys. That's pretty much what I see. I don't see any opportunities that we can take right now. Market is still kind of settling into its ways. So if we go to Forex Factory, let's kind of see what we got. So tomorrow is Tuesday. Let's see what we got going on tomorrow. So we can see that 7 o'clock we got FOMC. Bullard is speaking, so it looked like that's when stuff gonna start to pop off a little bit. And then at 7:30, that's when we got some action on USD tomorrow. And then we also got Powell speaking at 1 o'clock Central Time tomorrow. So we definitely can expect some fireworks with that. So on all of these USD pairs, USD, UJ, GU, EU, USD CAD, all of that, we're gonna see some action. So hopefully, if something happens a little bit, I guess during London session, I mean, I don't really see any opportunities right now to set no pending orders or anything like that. Cause I really like pending orders, but I don't really see any opportunities for that right now. I mean, if we had some, then that'd be great. Because going into those that news, it can possibly help us to catch those big moves and things like that. But hey, you guys, I appreciate you guys rocking with me tonight. I hope that helps. If you guys don't have any other questions, like I said, I appreciate you guys rocking with me. Those are some of the things that I see for the upcoming week. As the week goes on, I'll definitely post some more updates when things happen and all of that kind of thing. But of course, if you guys have any questions in the meantime, hit me up in the chat. I'd be happy to answer. And with that being said, I'll holler at y'all. Y'all have a good night.